Romance and different are two words I usually never put in the same sentence. While that isn't a bad thing considering series like Clannad and Toradora aren't different, and they are fantastic when it comes to story and character development, it sometimes is nice to see a refreshing take on romance. Golden Time tackled a new romantic idea by implementing amnesia into its main character, but it definitely did more harm than good. Maid-sama and My Love Story went for the comedic route and turned out great thanks to this approach. However, when making a romance series with semi-depressed characters work as well, Kare Kano has the answer for you. What's up guys, it's Kent from Spartan Media Reviews, here to review the anime Kare Kano, otherwise known as His and Her Circumstances. Does this show deserve a watch? Let's find out. His and Her Circumstances, or Kare Kano, follows the lives of Yukino Miyazawa and Soichiro Arima. Both characters live double lives, having their own problems they don't share with the real world. In a simple turn of events, both Miyazawa and Arima become a couple and have to deal with the struggles of a high school relationship. Kare Kano's story is a romance done right. The initial concepts of the show start off like a variety of other romance series, but Kare Kano does what the majority doesn't. They start the relationship right at the beginning. While most stories are about the progression of friendship to romance, Kare Kano focuses on trying to maintain the romance through a variety of issues, much like the recently aired series My Love Story. However, Kare Kano compared to My Love Story is much more depressing. With the majority of episodes being directed by Hideaki Anno, you can see a lot of similarities in structure and theme to his most famous series, Neon Genesis Evangelion. The aspect of romance in the show is done all the better thanks to the inner monologues of our characters. Instead of just an initial action or conversation here and there, Kare Kano delves deep into the feelings and mental attitudes of what our characters are going through. While a lot of the series is lighthearted, the overall feel of the show to me was depressing. Our characters are living false lives, having major problems outside of what they are actually showcasing. This in turn created an Evangelion-like cast, focusing on not just the romance, but the inner struggle of the mind as well. With all the positives the story contains, we come to the last quarter of the series. In all the series that I have watched, I have never really seen a show slowly kill itself like Kare Kano. Kare Kano suffered from a low budget, which in turn ruined aspects of its story for me. From the numerous amounts of recap episodes to the long pauses and cuts between shots, Kare Kano lost a lot of its charm from the beginning. The ending itself really doesn't help its cause that much either, concluding in a very interesting way. To top it all off, the final ending credits scene features a ship breaking through large chunks of ice. This probably means nothing, but I thought of it as a Titanic-like situation where we knew the show was sinking fast. I obviously don't know much about the anime industry as a whole, but I feel this problem could have been solved with a lower episode count. Overall, despite its budget constraints, Kare Kano's story is one of the better romances that I personally have seen, and a story I think could have been told better if it was created a few years later. Kare Kano features a great main and supporting cast. Miyazawa and Arima are a great couple, showcasing genuine reactions when things aren't going their way, both by themselves and as a couple. Character development as a whole was done quite well for both the main and supporting cast, having our characters either becoming happier or delving deep into sadness. The show also does a good job in terms of characterization, giving each character a distinct personality that isn't similar to another in a series. The character interactions are similar to what you would see in a general romance type of series, but it's still played well to their characters' strengths. Overall, Kare Kano features a solid cast of characters. As I said before, Kare Kano's animation was lackluster at best, but then slowly transitioned into nothing. The animation in the first 3/4 of the series definitely felt like a 90s Gynax show. The animation itself was charming in its own way, but slowly became unbearable, having to rely on live action footage and very simple shots. To make matters worse, the shots became longer in length to make up enough time for an episode, which in turn made the episodes boring. The highlight of the animation is in its opening. You can tell where the highest amount of effort is put, considering the first couple of seconds of animation have a lot going on. I don't really know if there's any symbolism involved with the opening, but it certainly is one that I will remember. The ending involves no animation whatsoever, featuring only live action footage of a school and a variety of other scenes. Kare Kano's soundtrack is wonderful. While being very simple and only having a select few tracks to choose from, they made do with with what they had and created a score that truly captures the mood of the story and characters. For comedic scenes, the score relied on upbeat and jazzy tunes, while the rest of the score was somber or another version of the opening. Speaking of the opening, I loved it. It was catchy yet melancholic. The ending track used throughout the show aside from episode 1 was also very catchy and enjoyable to listen to as well. When it comes to the voice acting, I watched the series in English. At first, the dub sounded terrible to me, with the main cast featuring Veronica Taylor, known for her role as Ash from Pokemon, as well as a variety of other talent from series like Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Pokemon franchise. However, as the series advanced, the dub grew on me little by little. I wouldn't say the dub is good, but it certainly is manageable if you aren't interested in reading subtitles. If you do have an option, however, I would suggest watching the show in its original form. Now, with everything that I have said, do I recommend watching His and Her Circumstances? Yes. While Kare Kano's negatives are extremely hindering on the show, don't pass the series up because of it. Kare Kano features a well-directed story for most of the series, a fantastic main and supporting cast, and an enjoyable soundtrack. These aspects alone are worth your time if you want a romance that steps away from the simplistic ideas of a high school love. Spartan Media Reviews gives His and Her Circumstances a final score of 7 out of 10 and a good recommendation. If you are interested in watching Kare Kano, unfortunately, there is no legal streaming available, so watch the series however you please. Now, what are your thoughts on Kare Kano? Comment below. If you enjoyed this review, hit that like button, I would really appreciate it. You can also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, I would really appreciate that as well. Follow me on Twitter and Hummingbird to keep up to date with the current things that I am doing, and with all that said, I will catch you guys in my next review. Thank you for watching.